Ultra rare achievements are some of the most prestigious digital collectibles one can possibly earn, because not only have you completed an objective or overcome an obstacle that was deemed worthy by the developers, you have in turn also received an achievement as a reward. Meaning that you've actually done something so time consuming, so difficult, so taxing and soul crushing that you're one of the very few selected players who actually managed to obtain it. And man, can you be proud of your hard earned, new, ultra rare achievement that's now part of your collection. Because the ultra rare tag in combination with the very low completion rate guarantees that this was one hell of a challenge and that only the best of the best, people just like you, were able to get the job done. Well, most of the time. While the ultra rare tag is normally truly a sight to behold and acts almost as a warning for players to prepare them for the hardship they'll have to endure if they truly want to get the achievement, there are some exceptions to the rule. Some achievements are ridiculously easy to get and still, they're extremely rare. Hey friends, and welcome to another video. Today we will take a thorough look at 10 extremely rare yet very doable achievements and how to unlock them, with the rarest achievements on this list having a completion rate well below 1%. Before we start though, please note that I've only included achievements that have a completion rate of less than 5% on both Xbox and PlayStation, and that DLC achievements are not included. This choice was made so that everyone can get the achievements as long as they own the base game. So, with all that said, let's jump right into the video. We are starting off with a game that almost everyone has played or at least heard of at some point, GTA 5. Despite being one of the most popular games ever made, GTA 5 is infamous for its extremely tedious and time-consuming online and single-player achievements. But do not worry, there is one ultra-rare achievement in there that everyone can get extremely easily. May I present you the Out of Your Depth achievement, with an ultra-rare 4.6 completion rate on PlayStation and an even more rare 1.14% on Xbox. And despite the fact that the numbers are that low, Out of Your Depth is actually extremely easy to get, as you could probably figure from the description of the achievement and the ominous shark icon. You will have to grab a boat and drive out into the ocean, as far as you possibly can. Once you're way out there, you'll eventually spot a small red dot on your radar. That is a very hungry shark. And despite what every video game you've ever played up until now has taught you, this time you actually need to approach your enemy with open arms, and if you're playing as Trevor, hope that the shark is desperate and hungry enough to eventually eat you. Once you've become fish fodder, you'll be rewarded with the Out of Your Depth achievement and have sacked an ultra rare reward for doing a very simple task. Coming in at rank 9, we have Resident Evil 7, a fantastic game that took the series back to its roots and scared the hell out of us. To get the really juicy and rare achievements in this part of the Resident Evil franchise, you'd normally have to tackle the game in the hardest difficulty, the Madhouse mode, where monsters hit extremely hard and can tank bullet after bullet without so much as flinching. Thankfully, for this achievement, the difficulty does not matter at all, so you can do this even on the easy difficulty. Meet the Mr. Nowhere achievement, with an ultra rare completion rate of 3.7% on PlayStation, and again, an even more rare completion rate of 1.96% on Xbox. You see, across the entire Baker estate that is riddled with monsters, unholy amounts of ammunition and military-grade weapons, someone took their sweet time to hide 20 bobblehead toys that are fittingly called Mr. Everywhere. And all you have to do to pop the ultra-rare Mr. Nowhere achievement is to open one of the many different guides out there and track down every Mr. Everywhere. Once you've found their hiding spot, give them a whack or shoot them, and once you've done that to all of the bobbleheads, the achievement will pop up. But let's assume the worst case and say that you've unfortunately missed one of the collectibles and can't go back to collect them anymore. Well, good news, because your progress on destroying the Mr. Everywhere bobbleheads gets saved across different playthroughs, meaning that no matter how badly you screw up, you can just start another playthrough, deal with the missing bobbleheads that are left, and then quit whenever you're done. Considering all these factors, I think it's more than fair to say that you should go hunt those collectibles down if you do own Resident Evil 7 and want to sack another ultra rare achievement. We're not quite done yet with the Resident Evil series, because next we have Sneaking Around, an achievement that can be earned in Resident Evil 6. And this isn't just any ultra rare achievement either, it is in fact the rarest achievement in the entire game despite being extremely easy to earn. But let's start at the beginning. Sneaking Around has a completion rate of 2.9% on PlayStation, and get this, it is sitting at 0.71 completion on Xbox. And sure, this one is a tad bit harder to complete than the last two entries we looked at, but considering how extremely rare of an achievement Sneaking Around is, you will definitely be well compensated. To earn Sneaking Around, you will first have to complete the 3 main stories of Resident Evil 6, meaning that you need to play as Leon and Helena, Chris and Pierce, and Jake and Sherry. Once you've beaten all those campaigns on the difficulty of your choice, you will finally unlock Ada's campaign and now only have to play until chapter 4. I know this sounds like a lot to do, but so far, this is all just playing through the game as you normally would. Now, as you're certainly aware if you've played this far, Resident Evil 6 is all about action and shooting, rather than horror and survival like the previous parts. And that might be the reason why sneaking around is such an ultra rare achievement, because just for a very select little part of the game, you will have to go full spy mode and be as sneaky as you possibly can. For a section of chapter 4 that takes roughly 5 minutes, you will have to dodge headlights, crawl to air vents, and use your crossbow to quietly dispose of enemies in your way. And if you do get spotted, simply restart the last checkpoint and try again. Simple enough, right? Honestly, it is baffling to me that this is such a rare achievement despite being this easy to unlock, so make sure to get it done if you own Resident Evil 6. God of War 3 Remaster takes rank 7 with the Hitman trophy that has a completion rate of just 2.8%. As you know, the God of War series currently only exists as a PlayStation exclusive, but fingers crossed that this will soon change. To get the ultra rare Hitman trophy, you'll have to get a 1000 hit combo going. If you take too long between attacks or get hit by an enemy, the combo chain will be interrupted and set back to 0. As you can imagine, a combo chain of 1000 is therefore quite an impressive feat, and it would normally be a very tricky thing to pull off if not for one specific glitch you can totally abuse. At some point in the game, you will be forced to fight a giant scorpion that wants nothing more than to tear you apart. And while that's normally bad news, in this case it actually comes in very handy. At some point, only the front legs of the scorpion are susceptible to damage. Yet curiously enough, if you jump between the front and back legs and keep attacking them instead, the combo meter will simply include the hits that you do despite the scorpion not actually taking any damage. And even better than that, the chance that the oversized bug will do anything that can actually hurt you and interrupt your streak is very, very small. So if you still harbor any resentment towards the last cockroach or bug that grossed you out, this may be the best and only chance to deal with those feelings while getting rewarded for it as well. Because after torturing the poor scorpion for what feels like an eternity, the Hitman trophy will eventually pop and earn you yet another trophy for your list that was very easy to pull off and is ultra rare at the same time. Next up, we got yet another extremely popular video game, or rather entire video game series. FIFA 23. Sports games, and especially FIFA, are often bought by lots of rather casual players and therefore have an incredibly low completion rate overall. The newest entry in the FIFA series is no exception, having you do dozens of different, very hard feats to unlock rare achievements, such as building your team in an efficient way, playing with a team from the Women's League, and so on. Thankfully though, one of the rarest achievements in the game has nothing to do with any of that and is actually very easy to earn in comparison. The ultra rare Shop Till You Drop achievement, with a completion rate of 2.6% on PlayStation and 4.01% on Xbox. Interestingly enough, for the first time ever on this list, the Xbox users beat PlayStation players when it came to achievement hunting. So I guess it would be fair to say that Xbox players really like FIFA. But anyway, this is once again a rather easy achievement, as all you need to do is buy an item from the Volta shop. Any item will do, meaning that you will just have to play the specific Volta mode a bit and fulfill some challenges, and you should eventually have enough coins to get the cheapest item possible, which in turn will reward you with the Shop Till You Drop achievement. So if you do own the game and have not yet tried out the more relaxed Volta mode, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. And on top of that, once you've gathered some coins by completing missions in Volta mode, you can decide if you want to go for the cheapest possible item and pop this achievement right away, or if you're willing to go the extra mile, save enough coins to buy a shareable item instead and earn not just this achievement, but an even more rare one along with it. Whatever it is you decide to do, Volta mode is probably going to be the easiest way to earn some ultra rare achievements in FIFA. Best of luck to you. We are at rank 5, halfway done with this list, and we got a fantastic title coming up next. The one and only Bioshock. Well, kind of. We're going to look at Bioshock Remastered to be specific. Unfortunately though, the very specific achievement we're going to look at today does not exist on the Xbox achievement list of the same game for some reason, so we can only factor in the PlayStation stats. The achievement I'm talking about is of course I Chose the Impossible, has a completion rate of 2.1% and therefore is the rarest trophy in the entire game once again. You're required to finish Bioshock on the hardest difficulty, Survivor, without relying on the respawn feature at all, meaning you will always have to restart from where you last saved manually, at least in theory. Because there is a very odd exploit that you can and should abuse to get this achievement very easily. For some reason, you can play through the entire game on the easiest difficulty, knock out the other achievements that are tied to collectibles or specific combat moves as well, and then, after you beat the final boss, which should be a joke on this difficulty, and the screen goes white, hit the pause button immediately and change the difficulty settings to the Survivor option. And boom, there is your ultra rare I Chose the Impossible trophy. But not only that, since you'll also automatically pop the second rarest trophy in the entire game that is also ultra rare. Brass Balls, that asks you to beat the game with the same conditions as the other trophy, but only requires you to do it on the hard difficulty. Difficulty related trophies stack in Bioshock. meaning that once you've beaten the game and used the exploit, you'll pop 3 ultra rare trophies in one go. So despite the very difficult inhabitants, it seems like visiting Rapture was worth it after all. Up next, we have Titanfall 2 with the Every Nook and Cranny achievement that once again revolves around good old collectibles and has an ultra rare completion rate of 1.8% on PlayStation and 1.19% on Xbox. As I have already mentioned, you will have to find 46 pilot helmets that are scattered throughout the entire game. 46 collectibles may sound like a lot, but as usual, keep in mind that with a guide by your side you won't have to do any of the searching at all. And even better, if you happen to miss some of them in your first playthrough, you can use the chapter select option in the menu, go to the needed collectibles location, pick it up, and then you're free to immediately exit and continue with the next collectible, as the game automatically and instantly saves your progress. Every Nook and Cranny is very easy to get, and it seems like even more of a freebie once you consider that it sits at the exact same completion rate as the infamously difficult Becomes the Master achievement, which you in turn can only get if you finish a parkour section in the game at incredible speed and without so much as a slip up. So the choice is yours. I definitely know which achievement I prefer, and I'm pretty confident that I know your choice too. Taking the bronze medal, we have Fallout New Vegas with the Artful Pocketer achievement. Once again, this is not just any rare achievement, but rather the rarest one in the entire game. With a completion rate of 1.4% on PlayStation and 1.73% on Xbox, Artful Pocketer is overall quite a bit more rare than the last entry on this list, despite being just above 1% in overall completion rate. And all you will have to do to get it is gather some bad karma and successfully pickpocket people 50 times. Pickpocketing is a pretty underused skill in Fallout that is actually quite useful, because, as the name implies, you can basically get the most valuable possessions that people carry without them even realizing. If you're successful, that is. Whether you do get caught while pickpocketing depends on your proficiency in sneaking as well as other factors, such as the weight of the item you steal and if you steal repeatedly from the same NPC. Luckily, there is once again a pretty easy way to get this one done. On the strip in New Vegas, there is a very unique NPC. I'm talking about this exact woman right here that for some reason infinitely generates bubblegum in her pocket, even if you steal from her over and over again. Bubblegum is a low value and light item, so the trick goes as follows. Wait until she sits down, sneak up behind her and pickpocket away. After every few successful thefts, you can quick save the game, and if you happen to fail later on, just reload. Make sure that you abuse this method over and over again, and you will soon find yourself with unholy amounts of bubblegum and the ultra rare Artful Pocketer achievement. Next up, we have another game that is currently unfortunately a PlayStation exclusive, Uncharted 4 with the On Purpose trophy and a completion rate of 1.3%, beating Artful Pocketer by just 0.1% rarity. Uncharted 4 has many rather rare trophies that demand that you do speedruns, gather a ludicrous amount of collectibles, and get through entire sections without using weapons. For this extremely rare trophy though, all you have to do is play with some dolphins. For real. All it takes to unlock the On Purpose trophy is that you drive your boat out into the ocean in chapter 12. There are 3 different dolphins in the water at different places which you need to get to follow you. The trick is that you can't get too far away from them because they will stop following you if you're out of range. And yet another thing that is quite finicky is that you can't drive too fast or slow while you make them chase after you. But if you show persistence and get the 3 dolphins to follow you, the trophy will pop and you will have yet another ultra rare achievement in your possession, which seems like a very worthy reward for playing with some cute animated dolphins. At the very end of our list, we have not one, but many incredibly rare achievements that can all be found in one sole game, Outlast 2. For some weird reason, this game has some extremely rare achievements that are all incredibly easy to get despite their low completion rate. But let's start with the rarest one of them all. Ordination with a completion rate of 0.4% on PlayStation and 0.3% on Xbox, making it almost an entire percent more rare than the second entry in this list. And if you're rightfully wondering which horribly difficult obstacle you have to overcome to get this achievement, well, all you need to do is find all of the collectibles. That is really all there is to it. I double and triple check to see if the documents you need to find for this achievement are extremely hard to get, difficulty specific, or if the achievement is simply glitched. And despite its insane rarity, none of that is the case. Meaning that, to obtain an achievement that sits at an ultra rare 0.4% or 0.3% respectively, all you have to do is play through the game on the easiest difficulty with a guide by your side and pay attention to the collectibles. And it still gets better, because if you're willing to pop open another guide that covers all the locations of the different recordings you have to do, you will automatically also pop the Apostle Paul achievement, which is also an extremely rare achievement and sits at a 0.5% completion rate on PlayStation and a 0.3% completion on Xbox. And we're still not done yet, because there are 2 more achievements in this game that are also ultra rare and easy. Outlast 2 is the gift that keeps on giving. May I present to you the Thoroughly Baptized and Proper Penance achievements, which are both well below the 1% completion rate as well. All you have to do for those 2 is spend time underwater, which you can get done as soon as you come across any knee-deep puddle, and for the Proper Penance one, all you have to do is crawl for 500 meters. It is mind-boggling how many ultra rare achievements that are this easy to obtain are all hidden in this one game. So put on your brave pants, make sure that you keep the lights on, and get ready for an extended gaming session of Outlast 2 to farm some ultra rare achievements that are guaranteed to turn some heads and add some worth to your collection. Best of luck to you. So friends, we've once again made it to the end of the video. What do you think? Were you surprised by some of the entries at all? Make sure to let me know your thoughts and your feedback in the comments. If you personally know about some ultra rare yet easy achievements like the ones that I just showed you, please feel free to share those too. And if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget that there's an entire playlist of videos that cover different video game franchises and their respective rarest achievements. So feel free to check those out too if you're into achievements at all. Most importantly though, and as always, thank you so much for spending your precious time by watching my content. It means the world to me. See you in the next video, friends, and be well.